Hello, thank you for tuning in today. My name is Cody, and today we'll be discussing the process of creating a purchase order in Construction Online. Now, to begin, we can create a purchase order from the company level for a designated project, or we can access that through the project itself. I'm going to elect to go into a project to access that feature, so I'm going to click on a project from the left-hand sidebar here. Then we're going to click into our Financials tab, and then into the Purchasing feature. Now, the process to create a new purchase order, all we have to do is to click on the create a new purchase order option here, and then we're going to get the option, do we want to create it from the estimate, an approved change order, or do we want to create that PO from scratch? Now, I'm going to select to do it from the estimate. Once that pops up, our project is going to be filled in for us since I decided to go the route of creating it within the project. We then have the ability to change the title of this PO if we want to change how it is described in the system for a point of reference. However, by default, it's going to go PO number and then the very unique purchase order number that gets assigned to every single PO when generated in the system. I will also be able to change it from a draft status or an active status. We also have the ability to include a scope of work that might pertain to this purchase order. Now, the next feature or piece of this is going to be vital to move forward to the included items and so on and so forth there. And that's going to be selecting a subcontractor or vendor that is responsible for this purchase order. Now, clicking on this will show our contact list below. And I also have the ability to search within this list and have that narrowed down for me. Then below that, we have the ability to set a due date that we would want an approval of this purchase order. We can set a scheduled start date for this PO, a scheduled completion, and also a delivery date if this is us ordering materials or getting equipment dropped off. We can also select our PO type. Now, by default, there will be 5 options already preloaded into your PO types. If you would like to change that, you can click on the gear icon and that will open up an option for us to make those adjustments. There is also a trade drop down that will have the same capabilities of customization there for you and an option for any tags that we would want to include. And then below that, we have a section for any internal notes that we would like to document on this purchase order. Now, once we have filled in our purchase order details, we can go over to the included items. And since I did this from the project estimate, it will show me all of the estimate information here for me to generate this purchase order. Now, if I wanted to generate this PO for masonry, all I would have to do is click on that in its entirety and it'll highlight everything there. And by default, it will select the overall cost of that PO. However, if my actual cost that I'm going to be paying my subcontractor or vendor is less than the estimated amount, I can click on that line item and change that unit cost here. And since we have the option to create POs from scratch, you can also scroll to the very bottom of the estimate or the approved change order, and there is a section at the bottom to include any additional items here as well. Now, once we are happy with our included items, we can click over to Link to Estimate, and you'll see here that this is where we can go ahead and attach these estimate items over to an appropriate estimate subcategory and category. Now, since I am pulling these directly from the estimate itself, it's already going to be pre-linked for me. This is really going to be more beneficial for when you add additional items to this PO that weren't already included in the estimate, or if you're creating it from scratch. Now, once that's done, I can go over to the Attachments tab and include any additional attachments that I may need. And once I'm happy with that, I would just hit Create, and that will then appear in my PO list here. Now, it will sit here in pending approval until someone comes over and marks it as approved, and then we can move forward with this PO with the other features that are available here. Now that is going to conclude today's tutorial. If you have any additional questions, feel free to reach out using the live chat or by searching the knowledge base. And as always, have a fantastic day.